I don't know about you, but I used to get really annoyed at the number of listings that would come up in my eBay search results for Japan or Japanese resellers. The real annoyance was the sellers would offer models and colors of guitars you just can't get here in the US. I was a little untrusting and resistant to order a guitar this way. I did not know how difficult it would be. All of the listings have the following disclaimer. International shipment of items may be subject to customs processing and additional charges. I do not know how to deal with customs requirements, and I also do not have an open-ended budget. I was always scared that I'd have to pay hundreds of dollars more than the listed price. There had to be a catch. I watched Trogly's YouTube channel, and he offers a service for buying overseas so people do not have to deal with the complexities of the purchase. It turns out that if you live in the US, it's actually pretty easy to buy from Japan. If you're ordering from Japan, you just place the order and eventually the item will show up. What I mean by eventually show up is that you really have to be patient. The seller I purchased from had a 7-day ship statement in their listing, meaning that from the date that you actually pay and your money clears, they have up to 7 days to ship the guitar to you. Then the packages seemed to sit in various FedEx locations in Japan. It seemed to ping pong back and forth before leaving the country for about a week and a half. When it finally arrived here in the US, I was too busy to open it until now. Here are my observations. The guitar was very well packed and arrived safely. I purchased this guitar because it was an FSR version of the Squier 60s Custom Esquire in a color that I could not easily find in the US, and the price was fair. The guitar is in mint condition. It buzzed some on the low E string, but after I replaced the strings and did a bassline setup, this all cleared up. The one thing I hopefully never have to experience is I have not dealt with a return to Japan. I hope it is better than dealing with returns to China. With China, this is almost a non-existent service, and you find yourself negotiating a partial refund and keeping whatever you were sent. I think this is where Trogly's service comes in. I think at the end of the day, he has developed relationships with sellers in Japan that helps with things like this. Overall, I'm pleased with the experience. I do not see myself buying a lot of guitars this way, mostly if I see a Fender special run that is something I cannot get here in the US and it's at a reasonable price. Sometimes the items that I've seen online on eBay in Japan are just like ridiculously priced. They're like 3 to 4 times what we would normally pay for something here in the US. Otherwise, I'd prefer to buy here from local sellers.